All right, guys, welcome back to another reaction video. My name is James.
Nineatiledbrush.
And today, we're back. The duo is back. We're watching the Demonslayer finale. Episode 18, Season 2. We have a Season 3 coming, so that's hype. Do you have any thoughts going into this finale? I mean, like, that last ending, I almost just want to be like, hey, screw it, let's just go into this episode.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like...
Is Tengen gonna die? Yes or no?
Yeah, that's like the big question,
Okay,
right?
Is Tengen gonna die? Predictions, yes or no?
Well, I'll go opposite of what you go.
Okay, I think he's not gonna die.
He's not gonna die? I'm gonna say yes, he
is. All right, well, we'll see. As always, full-length reaction is going to be up on our Patreon, as well as all the other anime we're watching. We don't have a reaction up for next week yet because we don't know what anime we're watching next, but we will be deciding with your help, so don't worry. Maybe Ranking of Kings, maybe Fruits Basket. I don't know. Give us some comments in the comments down below. I can't. Clearly, I haven't done a Demon Slayer reaction in a while. Let us know. Give us some feedback as kind of what you guys would want us to watch. And yeah, let's just get into Demon Slayer episode 18. As always, full-length reaction, or I already said that, full-length reaction is going to be up there, but also there's going to be a free link in the description to the actual reaction, and you can come back here to hear our thoughts, theories, and reviews, because copyright sucks. Let's just get into Demon Slayer. That's such sick art, though.
No, yeah. Just throwing in some sick art.
Dang. What'd you think?
I think that was a very good finish to the season.
Yeah, I liked that a lot.
And I like that it looks like unlike the first season where it felt like the beginning and we there wasn't a complete focus on a specific thing. It's kind of going a little more towards at least right now, each arc is focused very specifically on a certain group. Especially
because the next arc, I believe, is just one single arc as well. The next season is just the swordsman arc. I heard something about that. I'm pretty sure it's similar to this, where it's a single arc.
Okay.
Which I like.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I like that a little more.
It gives us more time and depth with some of these characters,
Yeah, because it's really just a giant movie.
Yeah.
Really, the 11 episodes of a giant movie is what this was. It was just one single plot. There was your character development, everything. It was just a massive movie.
Yeah, because you got no real, side quests or, fillers. It's just straight kind of
I kind of like that.
Yeah, it's interesting.
It's shorter, but it's more focused.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so...
What did you think of the whole demon backstory?
They do it really well. I like that, just with, the
spider demon?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
Rui,
yeah, there you go.
Was. I like that they, of course they go into the backstory and it is very, for them, a lot of times with the demons to get to these points, it's yes, they were at rock bottom. You know?
Because it goes back to that, I hate this, the word, but it's that toxic relationship with Muzan, and you see that it's manipulative. And so with any of those things, even just in real life, it almost reminds me of drugs or dependency on that. You have to wait for these people to get to the bottom before they're willing to literally make a deal with the devil.
Yeah, exactly. And so, of course, it is usually that sort of tragic backstory. But what always gets me is the ending, where also Tanjiro was saying was it doesn't matter really what happened to you in the past. In the end, you did what you did. People are going to hate you. You committed these things, And
yeah,
it's interesting because just like the spider demon Rui, the end for them is them. Even though they have, there's this acceptance and this sort of completion to their story. They end up journeying through hell, basically.
Yeah.
They have that sort of it's not just because, there's this sad or emotional, relatable sort of person behind these actions. It doesn't mean that there are consequences.
No, right? yes. And that's what I've always loved about Demon Slayer.
Yeah.
Is that it will have these horribly tragic, like I forget what the heck are those balls called again?
Oh, the
You know what I'm talking about.
yeah, they have a name.
Like that demon, right? That was like, that got me. That was the one that really got me, even more than the spider demon. But everybody, they have these like relatable backstories, but at the same time, Tanjiro, but also the show itself never excuses them. And it's like, look, you've done these things. Whether it's understandable or not, you were put in a horrible situation, but you still decided to murder people and you still decided to be a demon. And I like that balance because in reality, that is probably how a lot of like bad people are.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there still is that like justice.
I mean, I honestly would argue that like not many bad people have this
That's
much
true. That's
happen to
true.
them. Like,
but like in a dramatic representation. Right?
yes, for
right.
sure. Right.
Just
yeah.
like, I don't think as many heroes, as much as I'd like to believe it, are as crazy awesome as Tanjiro.
Yes, 100%. But yeah, that is exactly how it is. Yeah, and I like that because I feel like many stories will have that sort of tragic backstory. Well, not many stories. They'll have a backstory for a character, and then they will kind of wipe away everything that they kind of did. And it was like, oh, okay, now you're good, or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Even if it isn't like, even if it is on like a much smaller scale, like for example, if like I don't know, like you're beating up on someone, not necessarily killing someone, but then like because of this little thing, it's like everything's completely gone, right?
Yeah.
There's no consequences whatsoever, and so I like seeing that. I feel like that's what really makes me like the demons' backstories, is like this sort of sense of like, there's not, as much as I want them to have a happy life, they still did these things.
And especially with this pair, I feel like it really acted as this. I mean, it literally is a mirror of Tanjiro and Nezuko, right? And so it's this like beautiful poetic parallel of the two of them and their relationship and what it means to be a sibling, kind of. I don't know. There's like really, I feel like it's really dense. Like, and I may not even be able to capture it all, but there's a lot there. Even that ending, like, I don't really know exactly what that meant as far as like him being like, was it how I raised you or just different things? I don't know.
Yeah,
it really is
so much
thought-provoking, which is
involved.
why I love Demonslayer. Because it's super dope action, but then it's like, that just leaves you
got
thinking.
these really tough questions, it's like, and I like that, of course our MC Tanjiro coming through, being able to realize that like, bro, I could have been like this, me and my sister.
That was such a cool moment where he literally couldn't walk, and the only time we see him walk this episode is to have, I don't even know what what's the bad guy's name? The brother.
Gyutaro, I think.
Yeah, to like shut him up, because it's like, I know you don't mean this, and that was such a cool moment where it was like that. I think we've literally talked about this in other reactions where it's like, oh, you love this person, so you know them well, so you could say the most hurtful things, but you don't mean it. And the fact that he goes in there to stop them, the only time he runs, I thought that was so cool, and that was just like a subtle little thing.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. That I didn't even pick up on that. No, it is cool because he could see, because he sees himself in him. It's like, he understands like that's not what you mean, right? It's like he could see that like, bro, I could see myself in you, and it's like, if I said those things, I know I wouldn't mean it, right?
Yeah. And the idea that he knows that there's no redemption for you.
Yeah.
But you at least making up with your sister, like there's a goodness in that. Like, because he says that after they die, like officially, like, well, I hope they made up. And so like the fact that he sees that and is like, look, you are horrible. You guys murdered all these people and you're these evil demons. But even in that, you can't be redeemed for that. But you can still like retain this beautiful thing that you have, which is like a sibling's relationship. And that he works to help them retain that in this like weird sort of way.
Because it's like, it's almost like you see like their last moments and like, he's almost searching for like, is there any light at all? Yeah. Just like how he was searching for that sort of humanity in Daki or Ume, right?
Yeah.
He was like, are you guys gonna pass on cursing each other? The only sort of like little light that you guys had through your lives. Are you guys going to end up passing on and destroying that too? Yeah. Right? No, it's really well done.
Yeah, their backstory, I still can't shake it. It's like such an interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting because he was like utilizing his he's not like evil or whatever back then, but like he was like it's like utilizing his sister
things. Well, and then also he's like, if she had just said yes, but it's like I'm thinking like he said when she was 13, right? And so it's like what are the implications of that?
No,
right? And so I like that. I like that. Like it is this weird mix where it's like I've never thought about it like that. Because you almost think of like that whole like idea of like, the entertainment district is like bad.
Being bad.
But thinking within it even of like, like not only are these people like poor or whatever in this bad situation, but literally because of it's an entertainment district, your beauty, your body is currency.
Yes.
And so without that, you have no less value than you have in the regular world almost. It's weird. Yeah. It's like this like weird.
Well, the biggest thing is because I feel
economy.
Like you can't change how you look, right? In that situation, at least. And so because of that, because he was, a little bit disfigured or had birthmarks or whatnot, it's like it was the worst place to look like that.
Yeah, and I really like the idea of, like, it's really dark and complicated, but that idea of a child who knows they're not wanted, like that's what got me. Even before the whole Daki thing, really, that's what hit me. Like the shot of the mom just hitting him.
Yeah.
Like I can't even imagine, ugliness aside, like that's horrible. Where it's like that's all, as a kid, that's literally all you want. Like no one else in the world matters. It doesn't matter how ugly or pretty you are. Like all you want is that affirmation of your parents. And like you will do anything for it.
And I think it's the same with Ume.
No, I think she's doing it for him.
Yeah.
Like even with Tanjiro, to go back to like Tanjiro seeing if there was good in her. I think if he had said it was like okay, she would have, but it was almost that like undying loyalty to her brother that kept her being like no.
Yeah, and just like wanting, like you said, like just some love, like genuine.
Really, And I wonder even if he, on some level, failed there, and not because. I'm not actually blaming him, but I think
not actual blame.
Because seeing his approach at the end there, which I thought was really, I kind of said it, but it's like really interesting where he was like, okay, well, I ruined you.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, but did you really love her? And like, I know he did, but like show it.
Yeah.
Because it's like he was using her to a certain extent. And so it's interesting just seeing that, like he thinks like, oh, I guess then, like I tried with you and then that's the only way to do it. And I can't do anything else now.
I think, a few things. I think he definitely got a little drunk on the power. And honestly, like it's hard for me to even blame him because of, how much everyone
of course
hated him, right? For nothing that he did. And he's a kid, right? And so he, of course, what his sister turned out to be freaking, one of the top beauties of the area, he got a little like...
Yeah.
A little drunk on that. It's like, okay, now you got to kind of like, he wanted to, link off of that a little bit. And I think because of that, maybe he lost a little bit of that, like, I don't know, genuine sibling.
Well, I wonder too if it wasn't, I'm not even blaming him. How do you know how to love? If
That's true.
Or like, how old was he in that? When she's 13, maybe 20, 25. It's like, dude, this kid literally was his mama, he said it, like tried to kill him several times before he was even born. And so it's well, how do you, like, you only know what you know. Yeah. And it's like he's raised in the entertainment district where people don't like him and they don't think he think he's ugly and horrible.
Yeah,
his mother hates him.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. It's in the entertainment district, which is already not a nice,
of course,
situation to be in. And so it's almost like, I don't know. I like that it's like once again that balance. It's like he still did bad things, and there is a justice that has to be served for that. But at the same time, it is super interesting seeing this like character. Like to me, I wonder. It's like, does he know how to? At a certain level,
and I think he kind of does, because I mean he did like even though he might say that he did it wrong.
Yeah,
and honestly, you could argue that, but he still. Like relatively speaking to how his mom treated him, he raised,
of course,
Ume pretty well.
Yeah,
and maybe unfortunate that she was in the circumstance that she was, and she, they had different sort of like events happen to them, and because of that, Gyutaro's like way of thinking did not allow her to progress in her life, kind of.
Yeah, and also
which sucks.
Yeah,
and it's like, he looks at that as like a mistake.
You're right, because the mistake he pointed out was her standing up for herself, which isn't like he's like, did I teach her that? And it's like, no, you're right, actually.
It's weird.
Because what did she do? Like, I'm assuming he asked her to do something or whatever.
Yeah,
and she just like told him to F off and stabbed him in the eye. Like, that's not a bad thing. That is a good thing.
But it's like the events.
But it's like because of how he was raised, he's like, oh baby, she should have just like gone along with it, and then we could have gotten out. Well, and that's so sad too. But like that's like it's just tragic, and they do that really well. Where it's like that's what he thinks is the best option, which might have been, but it's like that's the best option. This poor 13-year-old girl like going with this samurai, like and so I like that because it highlights the tragedy, and I think it highlights the effect on somebody who's raised like that. And even just like being in that environment, it's like, look, it's not always as simple. Like, you still should strive for it, but just to counter that, it's not always as simple as like, here's the right thing, here's the wrong. It's like, it's really complicated. And I like that. Like that they explore that.
And I also like that, he did end up wanting to leave her in the end because, he thought like, my influence on you like stopped you from having a life better than what we had. But in the end, him leaving would not have been the right choice because it's like she needs him,
and like he's the only reason they had any sort of life.
Yeah, like you brought her up, you're like,
well, because I mean, even look at the I think it was the Oiran, like how she treated her. It's like, oh, she was pretty, too bad, we'll send you someone else. Yeah, like that's the life you would have left her with.
Yeah, I just, it's cool to see the different sort of like, the conflicts that he was going through and like, the complications of all of it. It's cool because it's just it's not clear, but it's even though he's a demon, it's just he was human, and it's just unfortunate.
And I think it really highlights how honorable Tanjiro is in contrast.
Yeah.
Because it shows, it's like, look, like that samurai was horrible. And like even him coming in like all freaking hero complex, like, oh, let me tell, it's like, you're a horrible human. And so I like that it shows that it's like, with that class, because like the samurai are a class, but with anything, like with that, there is a level of responsibility. Like you have to be honorable. You have to hold to that. And people abuse that. And so that's what makes like Tanjiro that much more. It's like even among the hashira who have every right to kill demons, he's striving for that ideal honor.
No, yeah, for sure.
It's cool.
And then we got we got someone at the end, right?
Yeah, whoever that demon was that showed up and brought them back to life.
Yeah. So
who looked epic.
it said upper 6,
Yeah.
right, on his thing, which I think they are now upper 6, right? Gyutaro and Ume.
Yeah. So they need somebody to replace them, I'm assuming, too.
Well, yeah, and that demon back then is no longer upper 6, which means, like, either, something.
Yeah, I wonder. And freaking Tanjiro's gonna be, like, one of the hashira, maybe?
Yeah, or, I mean, maybe not
Or, like, being seriously considered?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Which is huge!
Honestly, like...
I'm just kind of bummed that, I'm blanking. Zenitsu didn't remember anything.
Freaking...
Dude, he was so epic this season.
It's like, bro, there's got to come a point where you're like, where did this bruise come from? Like, how did I get injured? Why is there a demon slaying over here? Why am I always going around with these demon bodies everywhere?
Like, take a magical picture and be like, bro, get some self-confidence. Look at how awesome you are.
I don't think he'd even believe it. There's got to come a time where he does, though. I'm looking for
I thought it was going to be this season, actually.
Really?
I thought maybe. And then we still have the whole Rengoku's dad situation. And, like, him teaching Tanjiro more.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see, like... Because the biggest thing is, like, kind of got to figure out, like, what is up with the Hinokami. And, like, what can we do to make it more efficient, usable in battle?
Yeah.
Because, right now it feels a little... I don't want my boy to be dying every time he utilizes his powers, Like, it's a little...
Yeah, well, I mean, we'll see. I kind of hope he gets a new sword, too. So I hope the Swordsman Village thing, if that has anything to do with it, because I'm freaking waiting for him to get a red sword, bro. I have been waiting since season 1.
Is he going to get a red sword?
I don't know. I want him to. I've been waiting for it. I think he should get one because he's got the fire powers now. I don't know. Or at least get one with Rengoku's hilt.
Oh, yeah, that would be
cool. At the very least.
That would be cool.
But yeah, dude. I mean, overall, I think this season was... Was it better than the Mugen Train? What do you think?
Animation-wise, I think when I look back at it, I think Mugen still had a little more to it.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely, like, yeah. They really popped off in Mugen.
They did so much with fire, and that's so hard to do.
Well, yeah, and just some of the movements, some of the fighting, very smooth. They did very well. I'm not meaning to downplay this. It was really well done, especially for a seasonal sort of anime.
Would we have a year between the two release? Like,
oh yeah,
dude, they're pumping these. I don't care how much money these things make. They're pumping them out like crazy.
100%. But yeah, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're both equal, neck and neck. Like, honestly,
I really liked Tengen a lot. I liked him more than I thought I was gonna like him.
Same. I liked him a lot. I thought he was gonna be a little more, like, how should I say, like a little more jerk.
Yeah, I did too. Actually, I thought he was gonna be less serious than he was, and I actually liked that when he like got down to business, he didn't screw around.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I mean, he is
at
his range.
But I wasn't sure with like, and I liked his fighting style. Like Rengoku was cool, but it was also, I don't even want to say basic. That's not fair.
No, he was a
little more
formal,
traditional,
like, yes,
formal. Whereas Tengen's fighting style was so unique that it was such a fresh, like, oh my gosh, and the way he like used the two swords that were like chained together and the bombs and all the coloring and like even his wives with like that whole like crossbow weapon they pulled out of nowhere. Like, that was super cool.
No, yeah, it definitely. I like the fact that he wasn't a samurai or a swords user. No. He was a ninja, you know, which is it's cool. It's cool to see a little bit of spice thrown in there. I also liked from this season the fact that one of the big things was Tengen was comparing himself to Rengoku, right? Which was cool. You know, he was like, I'm not like Rengoku. I can't, I've let people die. Whereas Rengoku's like this freaking, he didn't let anyone die, basically. But it's cool to see that. And, even though he says that, you can actually see a little bit of Rengoku in him,
Yeah.
So I thought that was
I'm really excited
cool
for the next season.
Oh, yeah. So
I can't wait. So, yeah. Thank you for joining us, guys. Thank you for watching. As always, full length reaction is going to be up on our Patreon if you guys want to go ahead and check that out. And then, yeah, give us some feedback. Like I said, we got Ranking of Kings, Fruits Basket, a few other options there. Kind of give us some feedback. We're in the middle of Haikyuu, we're in the middle of Tokyo Ghoul, but I mean, I know Ranking of Kings is like popping off right now, so I'd be down to watch that. I don't know. Give us some ideas in the comments down below. Let us know what you guys are feeling more prone to. And yeah, thank you for joining us here. Thank you for watching, and we will see you all in the next video.